It's Ebro in the Morning, Rosenberg and Laura Stiles. I don't even know how to introduce her. The lady that was on the cover of the Ice-T Power album that we all used to look at her ass and it was amazing.
Darlene Ortiz.
Darlene Ortiz is here.
No, I know your name. I have the book right here. Darlene, a lot is okay for you because you were, and I mean, you still look amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but for those of you that you young people have never seen, how would you describe this, Rosemary? Like the original
one of the most
video girl?
I mean, one of the most iconic album covers in history.
Right.
Ice-T Power.
Absolutely.
With holding the shotgun in the G-string, standing next to Ice-T.
And I mean, she's responsible for many people's first boner in public.
Oh, make sure it works.
And I don't know. I didn't know. Honestly, Darlene, I didn't know a ton about your story. First of all, how you were married to Ice-T.
No, we were never legally married.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So how long were you guys together?
17 years.
Whoa.
Now, I open up the book, and the first thing I see, it says, baby girl, to understand how a rapper with no label, no money, and no car could sweep me off my feet at the age of 17, you have to know what I was running from.
Right.
And you go on to talk about your alcoholic mom and your dad and just a life at 17 that you wanted to be a part of something else.
Oh, of course. Well, no, not just a part of something else, but, you got to do what you got to do to survive. And so that's how my home life was. But my dad was awesome. My dad was an awesome dude. His family made up for all the bull that I had to deal with my mom. So.
And how did you and Ice meet?
Oh, that's a little story. Basically, it's we met at the Radiotron. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a lot of history from that place. It's like the mecca of hip hop in LA at the time.
I was
a B-girl,
wrecking crew, and
but not a lot of people know
everybody
that either. Yeah, exactly. They all started off there.
So you used to break dance?
Everything. I still do. I up rock. I did this Monday at the. Oh no, you weren't there. It was Saturday when I saw you, but there was no room to do. But I still up rock.
The Tribe Called Quest party.
Yeah, so I still get my dance on. I've been ever since day one. But not a lot of people know that I was a B girl initially, and then I was dating a guy named Ozrock. He came from New York out there to LA, turned it out, broke my heart. He left, and the moment he left, in comes Ice-T. But he walked in the club to see how it turned out because he heard it was a kiddie club now. It was 18 and under. Prior to that, the Radiotron was the radio, which was like a high-end after party, like after hours, 21 and over. Madonna used to perform there, Jelly Bean Bonitas, all these people used to hang out there. And now it was totally different. So anyway, he walked in the club and then spotted me, and then the rest is history.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just looking at the book, right? It just makes me appreciate what a natural woman looks like. Because now, when you see all these video girls, now I turned it around and I was staring at your backside, but I noticed because I'm like, look, Rosenberg, a natural woman with no butt shots and all this crazy surgery,
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
How do you feel when you see all these girls now that are altering themselves?
I feel bad because you know what? It's just not even necessary. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do after all that? I don't know, but. They'll wake up at some point, but I hope. I think it's just crazy. It's kind of out of hand right now.
But you made some mistakes, yes, as a young woman?
Of course, but nothing that drastic where I'm going to alter my body for certain things.
Were these your real breasts?
Yeah, I actually had a lift done after I had my son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or else you'd be looking at some pancakes, but because they all stretch out once you have a kid. I was 20 when I did that.
Got it.
Okay, so your body let's just be clear though, your body just happened to also, you lucked out. I mean, you won the body lottery.
And she was a dancer too. So
and I still do. And no, you're right. I definitely chalk it up to genetics. I don't like when people say, oh, I do this and I do squats and I work out. No, just be honest and say, look, it's true. Genetic wise, thank God. You know what I'm saying? My dad's family contributed to most of that. I don't even know where my mom's family might have came in, but
And are you Filipino?
Mexican.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are very lovely. I remember seeing
so
that
much.
cover. I was way too young, but I appreciated it.
Thank you. Now the hair is a perm. Okay, so I used to perm my hair. That was the 80s.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So of
And
course,
when you say perm, you mean curl it, not
exactly.
straighten it.
But see, people get folks. Black folks, when you say perm, they think, okay, you're straightening it out. But a perm just means permanently, you can permanently curl it or permanently straighten it. And I would permanently curl it with tiny little rods so that I could have
Ebro, that was the
full
thing
hair.
in the Spanish household.
Thank you.
You wanted
You
perm.
wanted some curly hair.
My mom forced me to get a curly perm.
See?
But white people did that in the 80s too. They all wanted to have hair like black
Big
people.
hair. You
Black
wanted
people
big
all
80s
wanted
hair.
like white people.
There you go.
The same thing today.
Exactly.
Same thing today. So this is what... the Ice-T story with you, I mean, the story we know of being fans of Ice-T from, you know, I mean, I only know from 6 in the Morning was my first like Ice-T record that I had, right?
Right on. Okay.
And, you know, we hear stories of Ice-T pimping, Ice-T, you know, obviously he was heavy in the streets. One of the first rappers from LA to really come make his name known with the Zulu Nation here in New York City from the West Coast.
Right.
That was a big
Yeah.
deal with Africa Islam, and you know Ice-T and all those guys were really like embracing Ice-T when he came out here.
Yeah.
All of that's factuals.
Definitely. And there's more detail to it. You got the gist of it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely more detail in the book because I was there with him. Thank goodness, because it was so interesting. I mean, to make that trek, he really did it. There was nobody out here. Nobody knew West Coast anything.
Right.
And he just said, you know what I'm saying? Rap existed, but there was no West Coast people doing it. And then when he decided to do it, he said, nobody's giving deals out here. So he literally broke himself to fly out here. And he said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get a deal. I had my heart set on whatever that dude did. I didn't care. He could come back and say it never happened. And I'm going to be a janitor. Well, let's roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how deep I was into him. But he ends up calling me back and says, oh, my God, I did it. I got a record deal. He got a record deal within probably a month and a half, close to 2 months. And that's it. And the next thing you know, we're flying out here. We still didn't have the check yet, the money, but he said, we got to roll back out here. We stayed in the Bronx for like 2 weeks. Once the check came in from Warner Brothers, we moved to the Marriott in Manhattan. I mean, it's such a fantasy fairy tale, all totally true and so interesting. I still can't believe it to this day.
What was the first big tour you went out on with him?
Dope Jam.
And who was on Dope Jam?
Jesus Christ. Well, first of all, we shared a bus with Biz Markie.
Of course.
He didn't have a bus, so Tracy, because I don't like calling him Ice-T. It's funny to me. But anyway, Tracy, his real name, let him share a bus with us. So that was hilariously fun. There's stories about it in there. Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick. And then every time we got to certain towns, the local acts would jump in. And we're talking like, you know, even Vanilla Ice. I think he was like a teenager and he was trying to perform and they'd let him open up or something, like just crazy stuff. But there was a lot of people on that tour.
And are these friendships and relationships that you maintain for a long time? And people you
Most
owe to?
definitely. Most definitely. As a matter of fact, Flav became really close with us. Chuck is close with, you know, both of us. There's a story in there about how I met Fat Five Freddy, and I just left his house. He let me stay there when I first arrived here. I mean, he's like a brother. He's like an uncle to me. So it's like we continued that, but it was easier back then for everybody to get to know each other because there was only so many people in the game,
Right.
and everybody respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? So now you can go somewhere to another town, and now they have other states. People said back then it was like when somebody would come out from the South, it was a big deal. Oh, now the South is rapping. You know what I'm saying? So
They were happy.
thank you. Yeah. Why not spread the love? Yeah.
Were people aware? Was there a hierarchy when you're on a tour like that? Was there a, you know, when you look at history now, it's like, well, we all know Rakim as Rakim, and at the time, Slick Rick, of course, means what Slick Rick means. Was there a hierarchy at the time, or did everyone seem like equals?
Everyone seemed like equals on the East Coast thing. I think when we got in there, it was kind of like, there was actually a little riff. It was funny because somebody brought it up last night, and I still don't even know to this day what it was about, but it was between Ice's crew and some other groups. And before you knew it, that was it. It was squashed, and then everybody was like, just love. You know what I'm saying? Family stuff. I don't know what it had to, you know, what caused it, but they used to actually make fun of like who would be the opener, and they'd do something like flip something, a coin or something like that, because you know Dougie Fresh was the main. He would have that. It was a globe that would spin around and open up, and he'd walk out of it, and then to me, I think Public Enemy at the time was like huge at that minute, 88. It was like 87, 88. And so it was funny because we would see that little kind of, you know, jokey joke going on about like, okay, well, I'm going to open up tonight. And it's like, you know, but we were just watching from afar. We were so grateful, you know what I'm saying, to just be on there. We're like this, oh my God, I can't believe like we're on this with them. So no, it for us, they didn't trip. Tracy didn't trip off anything like that. As a matter of fact, I think that's why he's pretty respected. He never tripped off much.
Did any other artists accidentally, like when they first met you, hit on you without realizing what your situation was? Because those pictures of you on the road are, do you look inside, bro?
Yeah.
Like your regular pictures where you're not all decked out you're very attractive. So
Thank you.
I imagine, even though they respected Ice, people had to occasionally accidentally holler.
No, actually, no.
Never?
Not accidentally. I've had, in this entire, swear to God on everything I love. That's interesting you said that, because I don't think I've ever had it done accidentally. But
There were people who knew, though, and tried anyway.
no.
Never.
No, I think they knew and they just said, okay, I'm not going to try. I've seen like a look, like maybe they're going to try and see if I fall for it, and like go, hey. And there's a look that you can give somebody and go, oh, she's accepting.
Right.
I'm about to put this down.
Right.
And it's never been done. I've seen a look, and then it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, You know what I'm saying? So when they see that, oh, shit, she ain't playing, excuse me, she's not playing, you know what I'm saying, about her dude. So nobody would ever do that. And not only that, I really do think to this day, even after he left, nobody wants to. Like, it's respect for him or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had one incident that in the last 30 years, from anybody in the industry, 30 years, one person. One. And I'm not going to say his name is because it was very disrespectful. And I checked him that night, and his friends even saw that something was wrong. Like, okay, look at her face across the room. They literally came to my aid and said, oh, my God, he's drunk. What is he saying? I said, that's okay. I said, I already know better, because I was still with Tracy, but 2 years later we split. But I remember telling this person, I said, you know what? Oh, I said, that's why you are where you're at. And I said, and I'm going to actually save your life, and I'm not even going to say what just happened, because you're not worth it. Because I already know that he'd get smashed on. So I never spoke about it.
She said smashed on, y'all.
It's real life. So what happened? What happened with you and Ice?
Well, I just wanted that to
sit. Yeah, so
she said smashed on.
let it soak in.
Like, that's such an old school, like,
Thank you.
get rode on
Wait,
term.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I just made fun. I was telling Questlove the other day, I said, listen, I'm about to bring back all the old school words, because I love it. I did. Yeah.
Darlene, when you were traveling with Ice, were you involved in like the business side of it too, or were you just like
Everything.
his girlfriend and supporting him?
Everything. As a matter of fact, to this day, I even run across interviews where I see him and Coco doing interviews, and I said, oh, that's still cute, because he's still doing the same thing. Like, it's like, yeah, I'll let my girl handle everything for me. So I did the same thing. I mean, of course, we had financial managers, people taking care of like the big stuff. But yeah, most of the stuff that's like really close to, yeah, you do that. You step in, you're like his personal secretary.
And how's your relationship with Ice right now?
Ice-T?
Yeah.
I wish it was better, but I don't know. I don't hear from him. We don't have any communication whatsoever.
So it's not negative. You just don't talk.
It's not negative meant to be negative, I don't think. But we just don't communicate as well as I would like to, because we have a son.
But it doesn't sound like you harbor any negative energy towards it. And your son is how old now?
He'll be 24 on the 23rd.
And Ice obviously talks to his son a lot.
Of course, no. As a matter of fact, oh my God, I so appreciative that he does really well with him.
Yeah. And is he supporting this book?
I don't know.
Did he show you any kind of support?
I actually called him. This is how much that I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got a story. You know what I'm saying? I've stayed kind of dormant, I guess, in all these 15 years. I reached out to him. There's a lot of people don't know this. I reached out to him and asked him to do the foreword. And I said, how wonderful would that be for the hip hop community, let alone just in general, human beings, like people that aren't together anymore. I asked him to do the foreword. So wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be so different.
Never heard back?
No.
I mean, and your son was obviously around Coco too. So are you guys cool?
No, yeah. I don't talk to them. I don't communicate the way that I would like it to happen, so that our son can be comfortable with it. But no, I'm cool with them. I've reached out in the very beginning. As a matter of fact, I wanted to keep a relationship real close with them, because that's our kid.
Right.
So I don't know. I think maybe he's uncomfortable, she's uncomfortable. Who's to say? But nothing's ever been specified between us two on like how it's going to be.
As long as it's not negative.
Not that I know of. I mean,
that's good.
Nah.
That's good.
Nah. I mean, I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? I tried. But
It would be tight though if she went on the new show, because Ice and Coco got the show.
Hey, that's right.
You want that? I mean, listen, they're looking for, because they're trying to push that show too. So you want a little interesting moment.
Hello.
Would be a little drama.
No, I don't. It would. I mean, I don't have any hate. Like I said, look, my big thing is when people break up, why all of a sudden start disrespecting the other person?
right.
You actually were in love with that person
That's
at some
right.
time. How all of a sudden you calling that person ugly or they're stupid or I didn't like them? Really, that's funny. What does it say about you? You were with them.
That's right.
So I don't get it. So I would never do that. That's not the truth.
So the door is open on your end to have an even increased relationship, but things are fine.
We're human. Yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like life goes on. It's not that's not a big deal to me.
What was the of the tours you went on, and you guys were together until what, through the 90s?
Yeah, we broke up in 2002.
So
New Year's Eve.
That's a lot of tours. There's a lot of moments. But is there anything in particular, a story from being on the road that really stands out to you as just incredibly unique? One of the things you were thankful to be privy to?
Just being around. I think the main thing, I've met a lot of people, of course, famous people, and had some really interesting incidences of meeting people that I like. But I think the biggest thing, and women probably won't, really get that, but is the fact that I could be around these men. It's a privilege that a dude will have you with the boys because he trusts you and nothing's going to get repeated. You know what I'm saying? It's a honor that you're okay with. It's not like, okay, look, I'm going to go talk to my boys. And you're like, dang it, I'm never around them. That's the biggest thing to me, was that you're right there. Nothing.
You mean?
Nothing's hidden. They talk about everything. They talk about what they're doing right or wrong. But I knew my position and my place to never tarnish that, because I liked that. I said, I'm gonna forever be this down where I'm not gonna say anything. And I made friends with their girlfriends or wives and other people's, and it was like, you're not gonna get anything out of me.
Right, the same as any of
Did
the
you ever
homies.
get pressure though?
Of course. Are you kidding me? Still to this day, people go, now, remember that one time I was like, I don't know.
Bro, it was crazy, man. I was so tired.
I was just reading this letter that you have in the book from on a hotel. Like
That
on
he
some
sent me,
hotel
from Europe.
letterhead. This was from Europe.
Yes, he was
on the
he was
road,
gone.
and he was just professing his love for you, and he was
All the
missing
time.
you so much.
Yeah, all the time. It was great.
Romantic guy, I see.
Oh my God. And what's hella funny, I think about it a lot, because he used to say, oh man, you ain't never gonna find nobody like me. And I was like, God damn it, he put a hex on me.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
But yeah.
And it's true.
And it's true, my God. I've been like, well, I didn't date heavily when our son was younger, because I don't believe in that. I believe in concentrating on your child. He did whatever he wanted to do. That's fine, but that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm gonna do it too. No, I concentrate on my kid. I'm not gonna bring no dudes around my son.
Ebro, she's talking all your talk today. Let's.
That's
be
why
honest.
I'm quiet, guys.
She's talking.
You guys are
being
you guys
down.
are hearing the real one. This is a real one
Everything's
right here.
real right now.
This is a real one.
Nah, but yeah, I never brought no dudes around my kid at all or anything like that. But yeah, he was hella romantic. And he used to say that all the time. I was like, oh, he put a hex on me. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's coming around. I would meet people and it's just like, ah. And people always say this is what kills me too. You need to get over that. You don't need, wait, there's not getting over something that you were attracted to. Will you get it? It just so happened to be that it came from him, and I was young, and I gravitated towards that. I love that. It doesn't necessarily have to be with him, but
But there was something you liked about that.
Loved it. I've never met anybody else that didn't trip off stuff like that. He's so chill. Like you could do whatever. You could wreck a car, no stress. It'd be like, I used to actually go, is something wrong with this dude? He's that cool? Like I'd lose something, diamonds, or wreck a car and spill something, burn something, do whatever. And I learned all these great things from him. It was like, ain't that the world? You still good? You're not harmed? We're all right. It's material, nothing. So a lot of the good qualities, I think, about me, I learned from him.
Well, and listen, you also probably doesn't help. I can't imagine if a situation on a date with someone and starting to like them, and she's like, I have a son with someone. Really? Who is it? Oh, you might know who he is. No.
Yeah.
Ice-T.
It's
Yeah.
nice meeting you.
Yeah, good night and good luck.
I've had
That's
that.
not fair.
No, it's
That's
not. But I've had it
fair.
happen many a times, and
It's
I
not about
thought,
fair.
but it's not fair. But at the same time,
It's
I'm like,
real.
thank God it ended then. Because
Yeah,
gosh
because you
forbid
don't
I
need, you need a stronger person.
I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
anybody
true.
insecure. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
I would have to speculate, and I'm trying to figure out in reading the book, and Ice-T's obviously he's got a new wife and they have a child on the way, and hearing you talk about him and then reading the book and the things you put in here for Coco as a wife, and hearing y'all's story, right? I could imagine where y'all's relationship is threatening to her new relationship.
Sure, I can get that.
You know, but it's good to hear you say that there is no beef, there is no friction. But I can understand why Ice, as the guy, as the man, needs to keep all parties feeling special.
Yeah.
And manage it the right way.
I heard that.
You know?
That's a good way of looking at that. I can get that.
So to write a forward or to be overly communicative may make the new situation not.
And I can tell. I'm keeping it very, because you seem like such an honest person. So I'll keep it right honest with you.
Right.
I mean, you're still very fond of Ice-T. You know, like you're not some guy who's like, I'm completely over you. You're a pug.
She loves Ice-T.
You still love you some Ice-T, and that and I get that. And I think for someone like Coco, I might listen. I know women. My wife is very cool with me and my exes to a point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It goes to a point.
it's
But
true.
if they called her like, "Oh, can we do blah blah blah?" She might be like,
I don't think so.
No, I'm good. I mean, granted, one came to a wedding. That was enough. That was it.
Ooh, that was big. All right.
Yeah,
Kudos to her.
But we had been broken up by that point for 10 years. So it's like, but you know, you guys share a child together. You have this whole history.
Yeah.
You were around for the early days. That's a lot, you know?
That is a lot. That's why I'm not angry about anything. There's very.
And let's keep it real.
Yeah.
You still look fucking good.
Thank you so much.
So Coco's like, yo, check this out.
Yo, check this out, fam. Chill.
Well, and I am like what I don't even know her exact age, but I mean I'm like probably I would say 12 to 15 years.
How old are you?
older. I'll be 49. I'm proud of it. I'll be 49.
49. My guess is
God
you are
bless you.
14
Thank
years
you.
older than me. 14, 15.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's
I
all
feel
good.
like Coco's a couple years younger than me.
I want to turn this interview into a conversation about women, what you should look for in being a supportive, amazing woman. That
You want to make her an icon. You want to
what?
Start like rallies with her leading women.
Well, because she's strong in her own regard. She's not
Absolutely,
a
not
suck
at all.
Yeah.
She's not a suck up. She's not like just.
Well, I don't have time
And she
for
takes
that.
care of herself.
I do. Man, it's hard.
I
It's
saw her
hard
walk
though.
in the room. I gotta say this. The first thing I looked at was your ass and thighs when you walked in the room. I was
Really?
like, yo,
You
does
see
she
that
keep
with
them
this big
together?
coat
And they
on?
was
All right.
like,
Well,
she's
I'm
in the gym.
I'm a fitness instructor, so that's not fair. But I,
Oh my! Interview's over.
you know what?
Darlene, so you and I, you know, of course, you and Ice-T were so close together. You guys were touring, and then somebody just reminded me that LL Cool J mentioned you in a song.
He sure did. I
Yeah.
put the story in there. There's a whole coverage of it
Can
in
you
there.
talk? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, basically there was to the break of dawn where he remarked that he said, "Do you remember that, or were you too young
I
for
do
that?"
remember that.
What's the
Okay.
line though?
That he took the album cover to the bathroom and did something to it.
I
As
do.
you
That
could
was a
ta-
thing. That was a thing at the
Hey, yo.
time.
I didn't look, but I didn't look at it
admitted-
like it was something bad. I was like, "Oh, I got him." But I know,
I do
I know.
remember everyone else being like,
Like,
yo,
oh
L,
hell no! Yeah, exactly.
disrespect.
Ice didn't like
And
that.
y'all know that
Oh, no.
L is notorious for being the hater in the song.
In the
How
song,
many
right.
songs LL made where he's like, yo, your
Against
man's not
people, that's
treating
right.
you
Oh,
right.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God! Hey, yo, your man must think it's safe for you to travel that way.
Exactly.
Yo,
Yo,
bro,
shut
I
your
can't.
bitch ass
I can't afford a fucking car. She gotta take the bus. We don't have a car. You fucking rich rapper.
That's true. That's true. And I do put this story in there because they did have a run-in. They actually had a physical run-in. I broke it down in there, and it happened to be at a Flavor Flav's birthday party here in New York. It was huge. It was a big party because you're talking about when Public Enemy was just massive, and so there was a huge party where I think at that point everybody in the industry was there.
Can you
And
imagine this party, bro?
everybody.
Flavor Flav. What year are we talking about, roughly? 91, something like that?
Yeah, maybe even earlier than that.
It sounded like 89.
Yeah, it was
What's-
earlier than that because he
If
had just.
LL was scorching.
But
It
to
was
the
that
break of
year.
dawn.
It just came out.
Okay, it had just come out. So 89, something like that.
All right, so what happened?
Can you imagine the
So
one room?
look at her. She was like, "So what happened?"
I'm like, shut up. So, what happened?
So we get there. We get there to the party, and we sense tension because he saw him, and it's like, there's that fool, and he don't play. So they were like, you could see the stuff getting ready to go down, and then Bambaataa, Africa Bambaataa, brought everybody to a round table, and they know because nobody knows until that book what happened in there because that was the one time where I was not allowed to be in there. He said we're gonna be in here, so it was like Big Daddy Kane, Kumo D, Africa Bambaataa, Flavor Flav, you name it. All of them that were at that party were brought into that room. It was a long, oval table, and then they came out and it was squashed.
they had a round table discussion.
It was
about this.
to the break of dawn. Smash Mo D, something, and Ice-T's girl.
Yeah, something like that. He got it. He got it.
Yo.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I took the magazine to. I mean, he might have went on, but it was something I smashed.
And
your
then
girl.
and then he made more. I don't know if it was on the song. I can't recall exactly, but I know that he also made reference to like that's the reason why that album sold. So I don't know if it was on the song, right, Paul, or was it on, or was in interviews after that. But it was like, they were making reference like that.
Is it too late for me to jump in? Should I start another battle with LL?
Nah.
Sure. Stay out of this one.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this party though? This is 1989, right?
Yeah.
Everyone in rap is there. It's Flavor Flav's birthday. So in one room, it's like, here we're having the righteous readings. Here we're doing the crack cocaine. Like everything is happening in the world.
Oh,
in that
man,
moment.
it was
It's
massive.
all encompassed.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yo, don't act like Public Enemy didn't party back in the day. No, they wasn't getting
I
high like that.
like to
But
think
everybody had a good time.
I like
That's
to think
true.
Chuck was reading and Flav was
That's the imagery
smoking.
he had.
That's the image of
Chuck
my
wasn't
what?
doing anything. He was just hanging out.
That's
he wasn't
true.
getting high. He was
That's
just in the
true.
place.
wearing his pirate's hat and hanging out.
Flav was probably running table to table, popping bottles with everybody.
Oh, Flav was a hoot. He used to come out to L.A. and we let him. I don't know how Tracy let him drive the car, but he wrecked our car. Like,
That's
there's
not
good
shocking.
memories. There's some great memories of all of this. I'm telling you, but yeah, I still don't even. It's like a fantasy. It's like it's a hell of a story.
You know, it's interesting. Imagine a girl on the album cover today like this, all right? You know how girls would pick apart the jewelry and the shoes that she had on today? Like, a girl couldn't even do this today. Like, they'd be like, what kind of shoes she got on? Look, they got scuffs on the bottom. Who
Yeah.
made that suit?
I know, and that's
what's
what's so
wrong with
that's
her
so funny.
nails?
That's so funny you said that, because that's a big pet peeve of mine nowadays. Is that just the hate.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just
What
saying,
kind of
damn,
pumps
this
are
is a-"
those?
Exactly.
Those are
They're so
Louboutins.
materialistic nowadays, and that's the first thing they do is they just want to break somebody down. It's just so sad.
No, Ebro, this is interesting. Darlene's manager's handed me a thing that says, according to Yahoo Answers, about the origins of Ice-T LL Cool J beef. And I know you'll remember this.
Okay.
That on I'm Your Pusher, and now I do remember this. Someone said, the Pusher says, yo, you want some of this LL Cool J? And Ice-T responds,
Or it's another
you
voice.
can keep that.
Yeah. And that was after. Oh yeah, there was a
And LL also says onto the Break of Dawn, another line. He says the line, a brother with a perm deserves to get burned.
Stop.
Yo, I love the subtle shots in rap back in the day.
Back in the day.
Now it's like they just go on Instagram and write like, I hate your guts.
Yeah.
But back
Yeah.
then, the
Yeah.
subtle disses.
Well, what was coming afterwards wasn't going to be so subtle, and that's why Bam brought them all into that room, because I still have the lyrics to a song that Ice was going to put out, and they said, you can't do that. That's going way too far.
Now, how crazy did things get for you guys around Cop Killer?
Woo!
That must have been interesting.
Interesting. That was hella scary.
How?
When
In
you
what
have-
way? In what way?
Well, because you mess with the government. I mean, to turn on the TV, have people call you and say, hey, the vice president is holding a picture up of you and saying, like, this is the... And it was on. His daughter, Ice's daughter, was getting pulled out of school by some government officials. I mean, it was on. We couldn't go anywhere. There were people protesting everywhere. It was one of the wildest times ever in my life. Scared. I was scared, but at the same time, I couldn't show it. And I just knew I had trust in him that I was like, man, my man's got us. I'm not afraid. If something goes down, it's going to go down. That's it, period. But he's got us. We're good. But it was hella scary. They're following us everywhere. Our phones were tapped, everything.
Did you ever say to Ice-T, why are you making this repug music with a group called Body Count?
No, hell no, because he was always like that. Those guys went to high school with him. So
Oh,
they
really?
Were, oh, yeah, all of them. Ernie C. and all of them. And I don't know if you know this, though, but all of them are dead. They've all passed. And at some point, somebody was saying something about like a weird...
conspiracy.
Yeah,
There was
something.
a conspiracy about that.
But everybody was dying. Like Beatmaster V had leukemia. He was the first one to go. A couple other ones were killed. Somebody else had a weird disease.
So hold on, let's get it straight real quick.
Except for the originals, Ernie and Ice.
So Ernie's alive still.
Yeah.
So everyone else who was a part of Cop Killer is dead.
yeah.
And then Ice-T has had to play a cop on television for the last 10 years. I know what's
Yeah.
happening.
Stay woke.
Third Eye.
Well, don't say that because my son's taking over the band.
Well, good. I think everything's going to be
Not
fine
really.
now. Is he going to take that name?
What name?
Body Count?
Yeah, they're keeping it, of course. Yeah, I mean, they've got such a following, yeah.
But that is the music that your son has taken to more than
Well,
rap.
especially nowadays because it's needed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You mean the
The
revolutionary?
revolution, that's right. Yeah, so. Yeah,
Right,
but
what's your son's name?
Ice.
Ice.
On his birth certificate. And there's a funny story about it in there as well when he was born about how that unfolded and what happened.
His name is Ice. He has the same last name as Ice-T?
Tracy gave him, he knew what he was doing. He's so clever, this guy. He gave him his real name, he gave him for the middle. So it is officially Ice. And then it's all capital because when we went to the hospital the next day, the nurse said, "You mean Ike? Like Ike and Tina Turner?" He's like, Ice. And it's not a name, it's a statement. It's all capital letters. I looked at her and I go, I know.
So his name is Ice Tracy?
But with the period, so now it's Ice T. Mara.
God, yeah.
So lit.
I know.
He was the coolest kid in school. It was funny.
I would think so.
It was kind of cute, but it was good. But yeah.
My name's Ice-T.
Her name is Darlene Ortiz. This is her. If you go back and do your research, you will see her amazing self.
Is that what you call it, research?
Nope. Well, nowadays, because people are, the youngsters.
When you run your Googles.
There he is. Oh, there goes Kid Ink.
No, I'm going to do a lot of research.
That was like a couple months ago.
Let's cover. So you have pictures of everything spanning the whole time.
Well,
Darlene, are you still trying to be active in music, or are you just doing this book?
I was never active in music. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was never
management
active. No, not even management. I've always just been supportive of his career. When he left, of course, I had to make life adjustments and just gravitated towards what I love, which is physical fitness. So I've been instructing classes forever. And then also I just want to make enough money where I can go back to volunteering because I believe in hospice. So I care for people that are dying. So, and I'm going to get my death midwife certification this year so I can actually be there and help families that can't do that. That are strong.
You talking about strong?
Super strong. You say Ice-T left. What I heard you say.
Yeah.
What was the breakup about? Is that in the book?
Yeah, it's in there. Every single detail is in there. But between you and I now here that you asked
us,
that,
yeah,
just you. Us. No, I really don't know. There's not like a specific answer. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that was ever said like this. There's a letter in there that he wrote me. That was the last letter. So there's an email that he sent to me because I said, well, what exactly happened? Why? So it was never specified. It was just like, look, I'm tired of LA. I got to go. Okay, well, what does that have to do with me and the kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to hold it down for the family. I knew we were spreading apart because he lived in New York. He was already starting SVU. Yeah. SVU. Yeah. And I stayed in LA, raising the kid, letting him go to school so we didn't break up his whole routine. And so I was like, dude, you really can't just stay down for the kid. Like, let's just play it off. You gone most of the time. So why can't we just be down and be cool until he's like 18? That's a critical age in a kid's life. You got it. So I still don't get it. I don't know. It was never answered.
So you don't really have closure yet.
But at this point, he could say anything. You know what I'm saying? Too much time's passed, but it's all good. But there's a letter in there that he says that this
letter was deep.
Yeah.
This is personal.
Oh, that's deep. Well,
the email was personal.
Well, he broke up with me on a 2-way pager.
Well, at least it was a SkyTel. I hope
Motorola.
it was a time port and not a walk.
You had the silver Motorola when you got the text? It was a good one.
That was the one. It came in 3 pages.
Oh.
Remember that? See, like,
so Darlene, you guys never had one final conversation?
We did, but it wasn't ever, you know what I'm saying? We did. I called him and I said, okay, wait a second, let me get this straight. So all these years, like 9 years, where I'm like, look, if that's the kind of lifestyle you want to live, we're going to have to make arrangements. Because I was down for that. Like I said, when you have a child, that's the most important thing ever. You're no longer number one. So I was trying to make adjustments for the child. I was like, look, what we're going to do, let's work this out. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? We could be respectful and still be apart.
Actually, the direct quote is, and this is, God, Ice, I love you. Ice is the homie. He wrote, this is so G. If you meet another man and fall in love, then I'll have to accept that. I think we could still be close and talk. I think you can still help me in LA. I need it. I think we can still keep Ice happy. It's all how we handle this situation. Ice has never seen me with another woman.
He's talking about himself in third person.
His son, Ice.
Oh, Ice.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah.
He's with you, so that's something you'll have to consider. As far as you and other people, if we stay fly, this does not have to ever get ugly.
Right.
He said the words.
Yeah.
If we stay fly.
Yeah.
And he
exactly.
And I know what he means.
You know what he means, and he meant well, but it still
was hard.
It still was. It was hard.
Of course.
It was hard. It affected.
Yeah.
Well, it affected the kid. I can adapt. I'm an adult woman, and if you choose to act crazy, that's your choice. I was good. I was like, yes, hella heartbroken, but let's make the next move. Let's adapt to the situation and just try to make the best for the kid. And that kind of didn't happen, you know what I'm saying, right away.
At first.
Yeah. I was very disappointed. That's the one thing I was disappointed in, was like, let's make it happen for the kid.
But eventually he was around enough, at least for Ice.
Around enough, but to me, I would have loved to have it much better and easier. Like, spend more time with him, you know.
But they have time now.
Oh yeah, man. Oh my God.
But there was that period in there. How much time you talking about? 6 years? 7?
What is he going to 24? I'd say maybe 9.
9
maybe
years.
9 years.
He wasn't there.
Well, he's here. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
was in the East Coast. He's in the West. He was a bi-coastal kid. He would fly. He started flying at 10. He'd leave.
Oh, so he'd come out here and stay with
yeah,
Ice.
Yeah, he'd stay with them. But I'm talking about like do the fatherly things. Even when he had left in the beginning and we were still back in LA, I would call him and say, hey, we got these big special events. And it's like, you do whatever you can. That's it. Nothing else should matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, make some of them. Just come on.
Like graduations and special football games, whatever.
Right. So it's like, drop everything, dude. That's supposed to be the must. Yeah, you gonna be good with money. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to recover. It's nothing that's that critical where it's like, okay, I got to miss it.
Sometimes as a man, though, you feel like, you know, when you're, and I can imagine after the music thing was over for Ice and he was trying to build this acting thing.
Yeah.
He took it
See
very
today.
serious, yeah.
He locked in a way that was probably in retrospect, like what you're saying, which is like, yo, you could have took some time off. But now he's at a point where he's the guy in his lane, like he's Ice-T. He's got he built a whole new thing. And so if you were to apply your knowledge of him when he was that focused young rapper that didn't have a car, didn't have anything, left everything, was like, yo, I'm gonna go get this record deal and I'm gonna take care of us. Maybe in his mind this was similar, where he saw his world coming to a close as an artist and he needed to rebuild something again
Right.
so that later on things would be greater.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
I'm looking at the silver lining. A lot of times you don't see that till you come out on the other side.
True. You're right. You're right. There's a lot of different aspects that we could put together and make it completely right, but
In the moment, it sucks.
yeah, man, I tell you, for a kid, I was good. They're good now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a moment where, of course, because that's all a kid wants is just the love of the parent.
That's right.
And we don't see him, and it's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? What is he doing? Where is he spending his time? So, but now it's all good. It's all good. But there was a moment where, that broke my heart because that's my world.
Darlene Ortiz, very interesting. Go pick it up. Definition of a down. You just left it like
Definition
that?
of
Just
down.
a down, yeah.
Definition of a down.
Yeah. Of down.
Of Downey, bro. No up.
Definition of down.
Up down.
Thought there was an angle. Sorry.
You have
God.
great pictures.
I was
Thank
distracted
you.
by the ass on the back.
I
That's
know. It's
Definition
understandable.
of ass.
That's baby girl right
No,
there. I
no.
call her.
You call your own ass baby girl.
No, I say that picture. People always say,
Oh.
this picture, look at you. And I go, that's baby girl right
Yeah,
there. Because
there
I
you
was
go.
only 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, give it up, Darlene Ortiz.
Thank
Great
you
to
so
meet
much,
Great
man.
talk to you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.